The NBA, no, wait, the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderddogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really, bro. Villain Row. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. The villain laugh is quietly one of my favorite drops. Very quietly one of my favorite drops. I know it plays all the time, and we just kind of get, used to it. Very, very. I mean, come on. It's hilarious. It's really, really funny. All right. Now, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't want to bring this negative energy over to my co-host, who hit another lock, by the way. But
how about if you sweep it out?
What's the point? I can't do anything right.
You'll do fine.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Absolutely just came in from Stupid Town. Went back to it. It didn't hit this time. Sky Mystics under. Went over. It didn't go over by too much, but it did go over. But it was just too many consistent buckets, which was frustrating because the Sky had a lot of questions that I had offensively about what they were doing, and yet they still found a way to help carry this over. And then Camilla just it wasn't her game. It wasn't her game. It was still injuries, and it was pretty much everybody else, even though she did get 10 points. She just didn't get the rebounds there. So no double-double for Camila Cardoso there. I get the reverse sweep on this episode. However, my co-host, Scott Studio Reichel, with the lock hit. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beam me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. Lock record keeps going up, which is good. I know that Angel Reese, rebounding-wise, she's now at 10.5 rebounds, so at least they stopped putting her at 9.5, because that was just an insane line in general, especially with Shakira being out, and you're looking at Reese, who I think had 4 rebounds in the first quarter, ended up with 14 in the game, so she cruised over the 9.5. That was never in doubt. The dog was annoying, because Collier had just had a monster game, but I took her 1.5 threes, and she attempted 6 of them. So you feel pretty good about your chances as she attempts 6 threes, goes 0 for 6. Just couldn't hit a jumper. So it's been unfortunate when she goes for about 30 and couldn't hit a three-pointer to save her life. So I still like the read. The volume was there. We know the Sparks defensively are not good against the three ball, and Collier just couldn't hit a three-pointer. So either way, ended up splitting again. At least the lock percentage, though, is climbing.
55%.
But yeah, I can't complain. But overall, I think I got every game right on the last episode. I know for the games today, we like the Liberty. We like the Sun, obviously. The Wings are a disaster. I know I tried to convince you about...
And it's not their fault. It's so funny because it's not
They're just
their
injured,
fault.
but it is what it is. I know Enrique went 2 for 15, though. You're looking at the Sparks. I know we disagreed on that game. I actually did like the Sparks plus the points, and they were leading early. Then they fell apart, but they did enough to cover, so that worked out. And yeah, I think I pretty much got every game right. So can't complain. But Collier, I know you're a great player. I would have been really cool if you would have made 2 3-pointers, but it is what it is.
Hey, man, it's as soon as you play it, that's when to play it. It just, the Monstars takes the energy and they don't hit anymore as soon as you play it. It's the jinx, man. It's the jinx. All right. We got 4 games to talk about. Before we talk about those, gotta remind you that Circa has announced that they're giving away $16 million in their Circa Survivor and Circa Millions sign up. You can sign up in Vegas and you can play from anywhere if you use footballproxy.com. Promo code SGP to get $50 off. That's footballproxy.com. Promo code SGP. Let's see here. First game up on the docket for a Sunday in the WNBA, 9 a.m. on the West Coast, 12 p.m., over here, East Coast. We don't have to worry about getting up that early to catch basketball. But here we go. Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever. A lot of rivalry games going on, by the way. Like overall, just a lot of rivalry games. We're going to talk about the other one later on today. But here we go. Indiana and Chicago. Indiana's laying 2 here. I saw it open up at 1. At least that's what I saw. I still see some 1.5s out there, but I see it's moving to 2. It's probably going to move to 2, maybe 2.5 here. It looks like if it keeps moving like this. Let's see here. 165.5 is the total now. I see a 165 out there, but you could find a 164.5. It looks like as well. It looks like that total's moving up or down. Interesting. Wonder which way that's moving. All right, Scott. So I feel like I'm gonna ask a question, and I feel like the answer to this question pretty much decides who you're on in this game. And the question is, does Christy Sides go back to playing through Aaliyah Boston?
For their sake, I hope they do. I don't know the answer to that question. We don't have a big enough sample size, but I want to ask you about Chicago because we thought this team would be feisty. We thought they'd be underrated to start the year. Recently, not that great. And losing to Washington with no Sykes is a pretty awful loss. They're even gifted an overtime draw because that loose ball foul on Dolson was a joke with 0.2 seconds left, and Mabry missed the free throw anyway, so it didn't matter. But they have been struggling. They have lost 3 straight. They ended up losing actually 5 of 6, and they've also lost 7 of 9. So they're not exactly in good form. We saw the Sky lose in the first meeting of the season. Very ugly game in the Commissioner's Cup opening game, as that was a 71-70 loss in Indiana. They're in Indiana again. I think Chicago is still the more talented team, but the question is, based on their current form, which you could argue is a borderline freefall, and with Indiana winning 2 of their last 3, do you want to back Chicago? Because I really don't like how they've played the last couple weeks. I'm assuming you don't either.
No, the dream loss looks worse and worse by each waning day. It didn't feel that bad then, but as the dream played more and more games, that loss looks worse and worse. And yeah, a Mystics loss with no Sykes is actually really
It wasn't
crazy.
even just a loss, by the way. They came back. They were down like 18. They were getting buried in that game.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to lean Indiana. I think.
I don't think I want to back the team that doesn't play defense versus the team that does, though.
I forgot to ask, are we playing the drop or no? Is this a worthy game for the drop?
Yeah, it is. 100%. Play it. Yeah. So that also reaffirms that I'm probably not laying points in the toilet bowl. But why, like, if it's a toilet bowl game, why am I taking a team that's significantly worse defensively? And the thing, I didn't even like this guy offensively in that Mystics game, but they still ended up scoring 80. Like, they still woke up and were able to score 81.
Yeah, they scored 10 in the first quarter. And then they ended up finishing with 81. So they picked it up after the first quarter, but I just don't like how this team's played recently. By the way, over-exaggerated, they were trailing by 15 to Washington. They were down 14 after a quarter. Chicago's gone off to some really bad starts recently, both in the Sun game, in this game. Maybe if you want to go for like Fever first quarter, I don't hate that, because they've been kind of slow out of the gates, Chicago has. So that might be a look, but based on how Chicago's played, the recent slump they're in, maybe Indiana's going to play through Boston. Big if, but maybe.
Nah, I don't trust Christy Sides to make the right decision twice. I don't. Maybe like with some games in between, but no. And plus, think of it. It's Reese versus Clark. They're going to force Clark again. And that might not be the smartest decision.
Oh, we can get that for props. I'm not going to take Caitlin overs in this game, but
yeah,
we can talk about that in the prop section.
But still, for the layout of the game. If they force her and she's not on, offensively they're going to be stuck. I'm taking Chicago. I'm taking Chicago.
I'm still not
I don't
sure if I
trust.
actually like the
I don't trust
duo
sides.
of Reese and Cardoso in the starting lineup. They don't really have a choice right now, but I'm just wondering, have you been impressed or disappointed by
No,
the
I'm
rookie
fine.
duo in the front court so far together?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because they have a 6th player of the year, Candy Carter, coming off the bench, and so what you may lose in temporary time that you probably get a huge bump up defensively. Candy Carter is going to come in and then absolutely like she's torching teams right now, like torching everybody,
Yeah, she's
and
having a solid year.
consistently in double figures, like second leading scorer coming off of the bench, averaging 13 a game. She just gave the Mystics defense
16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she had a 25 not too long ago. Oh, wait, that was against the Mystics too. I didn't know that. Wow, she's actually has really good games against the Mystics. I gotta remember that. Indiana had 19 this last go around, and I'm pretty sure people are probably going to go bet her lowers or her unders, and it's not the move. Yeah, I'm taking Chicago. I'm taking Chicago. I think
I'm
offensively I have questions, but defensively, Indiana lets anybody get off. So I'm taking Chicago. If Chicago's going to score, then I think that Chicago's going to win.
That also might be a thing, though, about the Sky, because you figure with Reese and with Cardoso, defensively, they'd be really good in the front court. So far, when I've watched them play, I have not been overly impressed with them defensively, which maybe is going to take some time to actually develop chemistry, and that might figure itself out. But it's not like I've really been impressed defensively by this duo. And offensively, we mentioned this when they started playing together in general, when Cardoso came back from injury. I don't think the spacing's any good because Reese has been better offensively, not exactly known for her offensive game. Cardoso is mostly like a McCowan's package offensively. She's going to hang around the rim, mostly take layups. That's basically it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think the spacing is there between the two of them. So that's kind of the issue I have. I think they'll figure it out at some point, but I just don't really like what I've seen so far with the two of them together. They'll figure it out at some point. I don't think it's now. So I'm going to lean to Indiana.
Okay. We're on opposite sides there. Totals at 165.5. I see. Let me go look
First game
around.
flew under, landed 141, if that matters.
I think that
I was
was
also
more on Chicago. That was on more on Chicago not stepping up offensively than I think a defensive masterclass. I don't know. I'm going. I would say full game total under, but I would take an Indiana team total. I'm not Indiana. A Chicago team total over. I'm just
I
going to
think I'm
continue to
mostly going to be on.
fade the worst
Yeah.
defense in the league. Like I'm just going to continue to fade the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, I'm not against that. I think I prefer props in this game over anything. I will point out some stats, though. Even though Chicago lost, they did out rebound Indiana by 10 in that game. So, something to keep in mind. Caitlin only had 11 points, had 8 rebounds, and 6 assists.
I'm
So,
running
maybe the
card.
points under could be worth a look here. Carter had 19 in that game with 6 assists. So, if you want to go for Carter to have another microwave game off the bench, it is a pretty good matchup for her.
I think you have to play Carter's props. I think you got to play your points.
Cardoso was
One,
actually really good in that game.
it's at 13.5 now. One, that's too low. I think they just don't want to move her to 15. I really feel like you have to just go ahead and bank on her getting 15. And if she has a bad game, she has a bad game. But whenever she's on, let's see, 16, 10, 4 in 17 and 15 minutes. And then 27, 25, 26, 16, 30 minutes that game against Indiana, 19. Another 14 still got over this line against LA. And then earlier in the season where she just couldn't get over 12. But like after, and then that's in short minutes. She's at 15 minutes at the beginning of the season, 18 minutes, 15 minutes, 16 minutes. Now she's in a legit 25 to 30-minute workload, it looks like.
Mhm.
This number is off. This number's off.
So I think if I was going to look for props initially, I am tempted by Angel Reese, but I got to figure out what I want to do because the rebounds are now at 10.5. You can find 9.5, by the way, at like minus 180, which is not an option. She's had 10 plus rebounds in 6 straight. She has had 11 plus rebounds in 4 of the last 6. In the first meeting of the season against Indiana, she had 13. She only had 8 points in that game, though, as she went 2 of 9 from the floor. Double doubles minus 140. I don't mind it. I don't think she's going to go like heavily over the 10 points, but I can see her finishing with like 12. I can see that happening. But she was solid in the first game, had 8 and 13 despite shooting horribly. I think it is a good matchup for her. I think Angel Reese, honestly, for the rebounds, I might just take it to the moon at this point. There's no reason to stop taking her. I know Reese is a rookie, and I understand that her offensive game could use some work. She's an elite rebounder. There's no way around it. She's a phenomenal rebounder because she also is relentless on the offensive boards. And if you actually want to go through the numbers here, she has had at least 3 offensive rebounds in 9 of the last 10 games.
Sheesh.
9 of the last 10 games with 3 plus offensive rebounds. In the first meeting against Indiana, she had more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. She had 8 offensive rebounds in the first meeting. So I'm on Reese rebounds again. I think double-double at minus 140 makes sense, but if you're afraid of the points, 10.5 rebounds, I don't mind it. I'll take the over on that. I think she'll walk into 12 again.
Yeah. I tried to look at points and rebounds, but that's at 24.5, and that wasn't even really I think I'm with you. You just take the rebounds and just, I mean, 10.5 still kind of feels like, oh, she's probably still gonna get it. Like if she finished with 11, then I don't know.
I mean, what'd she have last game again? I had the over. She had 14 in that missed 6 game. Like, she's just all over the court when it comes to rebounding. So I can't really go against her. The question that I do want to ask you for is twofold. One, I'm going to ask you about Caitlin, because Caitlin's points are at 16.5, and it's minus 108 on the under. I like the under on this one, especially if they decide to play through Boston again. Caitlin's had less than 12 points in 4 of the last 5 games. And she had 11 in the first game against Chicago. We know the field goal percentage has been brutal so far this season. Last 2 games, by the way, she has gone 6 of 19 from the floor. And you're looking at the potential lack of volume if they decide to play through Boston. I think Clark under's worth consideration at 16.5. That's the first thing I wanted to ask you. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. I think that you play it, and you play it in conjunction with playing her assist over, because she may not be able to score because all the attention's on her and she hasn't kind of gotten to the point where she can get around there yet, but she sure has set up for her teammates a lot. And if you look at this 5.5 assists, it's actually comical. She's been over 5.5 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of 14 games this season. Including the earlier matchup.
I know that people have been focusing a lot on all the other extracurricular stuff with Clark and that whole discussion. She really has not been that great by any means. Like, just from a pure basketball perspective, she has not been very good. Just throwing it out there. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading off the numbers. Like, she has not been very good.
And I mean, if you,
she'll figure it out at some point, but there's definitely a transition period from college to the WNBA.
She's going to be an all-star, and I think that I could choose a bunch of people that are not on Team USA that probably would deserve it before her, but she's going to be an all-star.
I don't think she should be, but I think that's not exactly a hot take. Anyway, I do want to ask you, though, my second point about the other rookie in this game on Chicago, Cardoso, because I'm looking at her props, and she had a very weird game against Indiana in the first meeting, where if you're looking at the actual numbers, she ended up having 11 points and 6 rebounds in just 18 minutes, but she also had 5 fouls.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a hard time fully grading, I'd say, what she might end up doing in this game, because she completely killed the front court in the first meeting, but she also couldn't stay on the court. So her points are at 11.5, her rebounds are at 7.5, and her double-doubles at 280. Is there anything there that intrigues you? Because from the one matchup, it seems like healthy. She should potentially have a double-double in this game.
Yeah, I'm just going to play Cardoso. I'm just going to play the Cardoso big game until it happens.
Okay. So that involves the
So I'm not
double
even
and then both
interested.
points.
I'm not even. I mean, I think it's both. If she finished with 15 and 10, would you be subscribed? Like not subscribed? Would you
I
be
would not be
surprised?
surprised.
No, you wouldn't.
And if you were
But
curious
it's
why,
also it's like Tierra McGowan. Like
yeah.
any game Tierra McGowan plays in, you sit there, you think, wow, if she goes for 15 and 10 today, that's not surprising because why? She's 6'7" on the court
Yeah.
with a lot of people who are
Mhm.
6'4".
If she stands around the rim and gets like a bunch of tap-ins, she could end up with 20 in any given game. But I am going to ask you because Cardoso, if you want to go for her points, you can get 15 points at plus 235.
Yes.
So
So
wanted to throw
I
that
would
out
just
there.
play the points. I feel like you have to play the points and rebounds. Like just play the points and rebounds and just say that she kills on the offensive glass and she gets a bunch of tip ins. That's plus 530.
It's
15
also at
points, 10
17. Yeah.
rebounds. Now you could just play the double double and get a good, like that's a fine way of playing. But I'm just at this point, Cardoso's getting the Tierra McGowan treatment of years past, where we just penciled her in for 15 and 10, and the plus money was good enough. Where the couple of times that she gets it, you're riding the wave. Like I think this could easily be a 15 and 10 game if she stays on the court easily.
I am going to point it out the last 3 games she played, she did have 10 plus points. She had 12 against Washington, 10 against Connecticut. And we know Connecticut's a great defensive team, best defensive team in the league,
Mhm.
and 13 against Atlanta. So she has been improving the offensive numbers. The rebounds are the tricky part when it comes to points and rebounds because Angel kind of takes all the rebounds. She had 9 rebounds against Connecticut. She's had less than 6 rebounds in 4 of the last 5 games. And if you want to go through the entire season, she's had less than 7 rebounds in 5 of the 6. So that's kind of why I prefer points over points and rebounds
But think of it
because,
this way.
yeah.
Think of it this way. And this is not on the court. Cardoso and Angel are like best friends now, like absolute best of friends. If she is anywhere near 10, maybe she's at 7, maybe it's 8. Hey, get that one. Hey, go ahead. Hey, go ahead, grab that one. I
Did
got
you
my
watch
double
did
double.
you watch the end of that last game between the Fever and the Mystic? I mean the Sky and the Mystics?
No, I missed it.
So Cardoso was going for a rebound with Angel, and Angel might have accidentally blocked Cardoso's shot in the final 3 seconds, going for the rebound. That might have accidentally happened there, but
Hey man, I think the two of them are gonna have discussions and be like, hey, let's just go ahead and secure our double double. Especially with the season not looking like it's gonna be anything anyway. Let's just go ahead and secure our double doubles, man.
I just don't know how many rebounds are up for grabs if I'm picking Reese to go for like 13. That's kind of why I have a hard
Because
time if
well,
both to go for 10 plus.
I think Indiana's not going to be good offensively. So I think that there's a lot of opportunities for them. I think it's going to be a
Fair.
lot of misses. Like this guy defense is pretty solid, and I'm just not. I don't think they're going to play through the bigs. Like they're just going to continue to take a bunch of outside shots, and they hit last game, but they've been missing all season. So I'm going to go back to what's been happening all season. That they could be missing a lot of defensive rebounding opportunities for both of them.
All right.
All right. That was cool. Good talk. Before we move on to the next game of the slate, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live for the NBA Finals. You can create up to an entry. I'm sorry, you can create an entry up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flicks the entries. So you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry when you make 8 picks. And you can win up to 325 times your money. We're going to do an Underdog lineup at the end of the show here. So sign up with promo code NBASGPN, claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBASGPN. All right. Let's see here. Next game on the slate. We have, wait, is that the next game? Oh, yeah. No, they're both at the same time. Well, we'll talk about this one first. Los Angeles Sparks are on the road going to play the Atlanta Dream. Dream laying 4.5 here. 159.5 is the total. Let's see. I didn't check the injury report for the other game, but I don't think anything was out of the ordinary. It wasn't. Injury report here for the Sparks and the Dream. Azrael Stevens still out. Jordan Cannon still out. So clean. Same injury report here. All right.
Does any part of you want to take Atlanta?
I don't know
At least
any
at
part.
this point in time, because I don't think they're very good.
I just don't like. I offensively they have issues, man.
Yep.
And it's like I gotta lay 4.5. Granted, it's 4.5. You can get there with free throws, but can I even stomach doing it at this point with how bad this team can be offensively? Like, oh man, they should have never put themselves in that situation against the Fever, man. They should have never put them like you scored 84 because the Fever just suck offensively. It's another reason why I can't take the Fever last game. They're just horrible defensively. But like, oh, they just suck defensively, and that's the only reason you score 84. But you probably I think I'm on the Sparks, man. I know I said that I was really down on the Sparks this month, but and for the most part, well, they may look crazy twice because they won against the Wings and the Aces. But like, I can't back Atlanta right now.
I think
How?
we're I think we're in agreement. Atlanta's going to fire their coach at some point in the next couple months. It just doesn't seem like anything's gelling at the moment. But I will point out Atlanta did win the first meeting in LA by double digits, but
Yeah,
that was
first game
in
of the season.
yeah, that was in very early May. It seems like even though the Sparks have not been winning that many games, they have been competitive against good teams. Like
Mhm.
they gave the Storm a bit of a run there for what, like 2.5 quarters, 3 quarters, and then
Three.
they eventually
Three
fell
full
apart.
quarters. It was three
Then
full quarters. Yep.
they were beating the Lynx by double digits. They fell apart there, lost by 5. I think at the end of the day, you're looking at the Sparks
Why
being
is this 4.5?
I think it's because they won the first game by double digits, but the Sparks are also 1-5 on the road, but they've been competitive recently. They beat the Aces at home, they beat the Wings, also the Storm were competitive. They were competitive against the Lynx. It just
There's
seems like
no way this stays.
it seems like they're just heading opposite directions. It just seems to me like the Sparks have started to build some chemistry, and the vibes are, for the most part, positive right now with this team. The Dream
Mhm.
beat the Aces, which actually did not turn out to be as good of a win as we thought it was going to be, because the Aces have been struggling recently for the last couple weeks. They beat the Aces and then immediately fell off a cliff.
Both of
So
these teams beat the Aces. That's crazy.
just based on morale and based on overall vibes, it just seems like the Sparks are in better form right now. So I'll go with the Sparks. I think I hang in there.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked this is 4.5. It kind of feels too good to be true because
I think
why
I
is
saw
like
five and a
why?
half, and then it moved down, which makes sense. But
Yeah. I mean, there's
I don't know.
no I
Yeah,
can't find any good I'm seriously over here looking scrounging. I can't find any good reason to take the Dream. Like I want it other than just trying to go off of the narrative of Atlanta at home. But like there's no I mean, okay, the Sparks defense has been a problem, but like Atlanta can't score. I can't take Atlanta. I can't take Atlanta.
it goes back to what we said. This team has no identity. I don't know what this team is. I don't know what they are trying to be. It just seems like they go out there, let Tina try to cook, which is ironic because she did absolutely nothing last game. But it just seems like there's a hierarchy issue with this team, with Tina and with Alicia and with Howard. It just seems like there's something off about how this team is structured roster wise. And I don't really want anything to do with them. So give me a young Sparks team that's been kind of entertaining and competitive recently, which I think makes them underrated. I'll link to the Sparks.
What I will give Tanisha Wright credit for is this team did start 2-6 last year, or 2-5, one or the other. It was 2 and something, 2 and bad. Let's just say that they started off 2 and bad last season. So this isn't
Yeah.
out of the ordinary, but it's also still frustrating. And if this is gonna go the same route as majority of her seasons go, or how her seasons have gone in the past, then I'm just not gonna back this Atlanta team until they show me something. And they haven't showed me anything right now. It's Sparks plus 4.5. Sparks on the money line. We might have to bet that. Might have to bet that. There's no way that stays at 4.5. I can't see that staying at 4.5 overnight.
Once
We
again,
might
I'm
have to
pretty
lock.
sure it was 5.5, and then it dipped down to 4.5. I think so. That might end up dipping to like 3.5 or 2.5 potentially. But any props you
Yeah,
like?
LA's clearly playing a better team. Total's at 159.5.
Oh,
Over.
I think I'll lean over. Even if I'm picking the Sparks, they still can't guard anybody. I just think they can get
Yeah.
some. Yeah.
Yeah. Like even same thing as Indiana. It went over. Indiana, it was just Indiana had better runs than, and then ultimately Atlanta's offense just died at the end of the game. That's another reason why I can't take them right now with that.
Mm.
Oh, that I won't forget how that offense just died when they went up one. No. Yeah.
I am going to point out, by the way, Atlanta's defense. They gave up 91 to Indiana and 87 to Washington in the last 2 games. Now, Sykes did play in that Washington game, but
Yeah.
giving up
That's not their fault.
87 plus points to 2 of the worst teams in the league is probably not a good look. So I like the over. But anything else
Yeah.
you want to talk about for this game?
And the Spark, yeah. Why is this Sparks 81, 83, 82, 84? Yeah.
Neither
Yeah.
team can really guard anybody right now.
Yeah, over. The over might actually be a really good play. Why is this 159.5? They both give up 80, like nothing.
Regularly. Yeah.
Yeah. This is I just the thought of betting on Atlanta's offense again. I might have to just take Sparks team total over. The thought of betting on Atlanta's offense again really just scares me. That might be a play though.
I get that. Yeah.
That Sparks team total over might be a play. Let me see if I can find that. All right, before we get to the next game on the slate, got to talk to you about Rhythm. So look, their WNBA features are top notch. They have these custom betting models, AI betting recommendations, everything that you need to become a better in the W with the power. Ooh, wow, I can't talk tonight. It's late. That's what it is. It's got to be because it's late. The power of data. But it's not late for Rhythm because guess what? Those AIs, they work 24/7. It doesn't matter. Whenever, if you're up late just like us and you're looking and you want to go ahead and back something for tomorrow, you can do that with Rhythm and their 7-day free trial. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Make sure easy tickets, no stress, doesn't matter. Killer last minute ticket deals, all in prices, view from your seat, and lowest price guarantee. What does that mean? That means that if you find a seat on the same row and section as you, they'll credit you 110% of the difference if that seat was lower than yours. So just go ahead, get your MLB tickets, get your WNBA tickets, get your WWE tickets, get whatever tickets you can, get them off Game Time. And matter of fact, I'm going to give you, just because I'm really nice, I'm going to give you $20 off. Use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. We got another rival. What? Did that line just move to 5? No way. There are people betting Atlanta? No way that line just moved to 5 in my face.
Once again, I've seen it been bouncing between 5.5 and 4.5. So
what? People are betting Atlanta? Hey man. All right. I mean, it could happen. Like I'm not and that's the terrifying part of it. Because if Atlanta wins, they probably do cover the game. But man, I just don't want to get in front of it right now. No way. All right. Back to the other rivalry game that we have going on here because Seattle Storm are on the road. Traveling to the Valley to play Phoenix Mercury. Laying 2.5 are the Seattle Storm on the road. 164 is the total. Holy crap, that scared the crap out of me. I thought it was really storming outside.
you're welcome. Well, I thought you were going to play the drop as soon as you said Storm, so I just took over from that point.
No, I was in the read. I have nothing on the injury report for either team right now.
Griner is alive and well. That's the only update for the injury report.
So, folks, man, I'm just going to continue to play her overs. Really good player.
She's
really,
been great.
really good.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I love the Storm. I do. I adore them.
We have to discuss the power rankings for Phoenix with Griner back in the lineup because this team has looked pretty solid.
They are good, and I'm telling you, they're up there. They are up there. And I feel like anybody right now, anybody can beat. Well, not anybody can beat anybody, but you know what I mean. The top teams, all the top teams can beat all of the top teams. Like I don't think that. Well, I don't know. Liberty are kind of running away with things now, but we'll see.
The Sun can't beat the Liberty, but every other team can beat any other top team. It really is.
I really want to back them as home dogs. I really want to back them as home dogs.
It's a great game on paper. I think this is the game.
They owe them. They owe them. They took that. They got destroyed in Seattle, and that was a game where you didn't have Brittany Griner, you didn't have Beck Allen.
I think I'm going to agree with you. I think I am going to go with Phoenix in this game.
They're just going to step up. This is a game they step up.
We know that they're at home. They're very good at home compared to the road. The Storm have been very solid. Like, I'm aware that they have been, but you're looking at, once again, Griner not playing in the first meeting, and they were a bit shorthanded. Bit of a revenge angle here. The Storm are solid. Should be a very fun game. So, going to be a very competitive game. But since I'm expecting it to be close, I'm going to take the points. I think the Storm are, of course, the better team over the course of the season, but we have to reevaluate Phoenix because we were not sure how Griner was going to look immediately after the toe injury. She's been really, really good. I feel like I don't want to toss everything out that we've seen from the Mercury, but I kind of have to toss everything out before Griner came back because
I told you, man. I thought they were going to be good. Like that was it. They made great additions, adding Kalia Copper, and then like giving you that extra umph, especially with the fact that Taurasi is 100 years old, and the fact that Taurasi can still now give you games. Like this is not playing despite Taurasi; it's playing in tandem with Taurasi, and so now you bring in Natasha Cloud, and now you have a legit point guard that's running your offense and getting all of these great scores. Like, look at Natasha Cloud has to pick between Diana Taurasi, Kalia Copper, and Brittany Griner of where she wants to get the ball.
Yeah, it's a lot of great options on one team, but
this is a different team. I think they're going to step up this game. I'm taking Mercury.
I think it's the game of the day. I think this game's an absolute war. So with that being the case, I'll take the points.
Yeah. Man, that's a really good win if they get this. Plus, the Storm have the Aces on deck next week. Wow, the Storm actually have Aces and Sun next week. That's crazy. And then we have Mercury get the Liberty coming here. Liberty and Lynx. Wow, these two got some crazy schedules the next week. Liberty and Lynx too. Wow. All right. Yeah. No. All right. Mercury it is. 164.5, 163.5.
I think even though Phoenix has gotten a lot better offensively, I actually like the under in this game. I mean, the Aces we know are an automatic over team. So 202 is crazy, but the Aces play overs against everybody. You had double overtime against Dallas, but that game was a rock fight for a decent portion of it. It only went over because of the overtimes. You're looking at Seattle, though, and they had a high-scoring game against Dallas. They didn't guard anybody either. But I just think both teams defensively are going to look sharper. I think that Seattle defensively, we know, when they fully are engaged, they're a very, very good defensive team. They gave up 62 in the first meeting. Once again, shorthanded Mercury. I get it. But I think Seattle and Phoenix can actually cause each other problems defensively in this game. So I'm going to lean under. I think it's a physical game. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it lands somewhere in the 150s, personally. But it's mostly Seattle being a solid defensive team.
I'm with you. I think it's somewhere closer to how they played that Lynx game, and it kind of fell at 161, 81, 80. I think it's something close to that. And I slightly lean to the under. I mean, yeah, I really don't trust the Mercury's defense, but I mean, that Wings game had double overtime, and that pushed that total up, but they were what helped them to, so what was that? 78. So it was at 78 when when regulation ended. Like they've had their spots. And then the Aces, the Aces coming to town, and it was going over regardless. But outside of that, under's been pretty good. Yeah. This is borderline. I was really considering that as well. This is borderline lock territory. I'm considering that. Under 164 is what I see. All right. Player props.
Do we just keep taking Griner props?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am thinking about the Griner under rebounds, though, but she has had 9 rebounds in back-to-back games. So she actually has stepped up the rebounding a bit.
I
If
mean,
you want to go for,
she might be due to regress. That's
she
really
might be
what
due to
that might be.
regress,
That really
but
might be what that means. She might be due to
I'm
regress.
just
Yeah.
saying I'll give her some props because we've given
Mhm.
Griner issues with her rebounding in the past, and she has dialed it up a bit over the last 2 games. I think the points are definitely worth consideration, though. It's at 18.5. She's had 24 plus in back-to-back games, 21 at least 21 in 3 of the last 4. If you want to go for the head-to-head, though, Seattle's been good against her, but that is dated as they've not faced yet this season. And Griner was kind of in and out of the lineup last year. But I think for the sake of this matchup, Griner at 18.5 points does feel a bit low to me. So I don't mind the over on that.
I think she's good for 20.
That's how I feel.
All right. Let's see.
I see
What else?
Cloud assist, by the way, at 5.5, minus 135. She's had 6
I'd play
plus
that.
assists in 7 of the last 10. For the entire season, she's had 6 plus assists in 9 of the 13 games, including each of the
Yeah.
last 3. So Cloud assists at 5.5 is worth consideration.
She has so many options, like so many options to just run offense, run plays with, 2-man. Like it's the sky's the limit. So yeah, continue to play Natasha Cloud Assist. I mean, we it's been a long time just playing Natasha Cloud Assist, so this doesn't change anything.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Does Ezzy get in foul trouble? I mean, for I have to take Skylar over 16.5. That has to happen.
For the
Still.
revenge game.
Yes, I think there's still some feelings there. I still think that she's actually like a really really tough guard for them, and the fact is that she's just been really good, like really good. And I don't know what the reluctance is to move her prop up off the 16.5 here, but outside of the Minnesota game where she had 7, her past few games 21, 19, 21, 17, 18, 21, 16. Like that's a crazy run that she's on when she's after she's kind of got her legs back under her. And then it's Skylar doing Skylar things, and ever so consistently as she's played in the past, she's really efficient from the field. Like 53% as a guard, 53%, 50%, like shooting outside shots. She's still getting consistency, 57% from the field, 58% from the field, 66% from the field. Like she constantly taking shots. She's second in shots behind Jewel, second in shots on the team. I'm just gonna continue to back Skylar. Like I think that that's the play. Continue to back Skylar over 16.5. You have the revenge narrative, and the fact is she has a clear-cut offensive role where they're depending on her to put points on the board.
I just can't believe Cloud assists are at 5.5 again. I just find that a crazy one.
But this is the system because she got all the way up to 7. Like I just played her at 7.5 for plus money, like, and it didn't hit, and now it's down to 5.5. Here we go. That's the system how they've been playing the WNBA, and that's how we just kind of, hey, I lost to 7.5. Don't be afraid, run it back at 5.5 because it gets over, and it would have been over if we had 5.5 last game. Like they're constantly doing this and constantly behind the 8 ball, and we're just gonna take advantage.
Yeah. Should be a fun game.
All right. Let's move on. Last game of the slate. However, we're on to Monday. One game on a Monday, which is lucky because there's a lot of Mondays in W that you don't get games at all. Minnesota Lynx are at home. I'm sorry, Minnesota Lynx are at home playing against the Dallas Wings. Wings are catching 9 on the road here. 164 is total. If you need to know, they said Natasha Howard is expected June 1st for a return date because
I think you mean July. I think you mean July 1st.
July. I'm sorry, July 1st as a return date. And then you have Satu, who wasn't mentioned. However, I did hear Satu is playing for Germany in the Olympics. That's happening. So I think it's the same situation as a Chelsea Gray. Except Chelsea Gray is clearly just way further along. Satu's probably going to be back before the Olympic break, probably a couple of ramp-up games. She's going to have the entire Olympics get in shape, and then when we're back from the Olympics, we're back on the Satu Sabli train. Can't wait for that. By the way, I don't know if Dallas is going to be able to hold serve until then.
I have a brief scheduling rant. They really put the Dallas WNBA team playing at the same time as the Dallas NBA team in the NBA Finals. Really?
Is that Game 5?
Yeah. Game 5's at 8:30. This game starts at 8. It's in Minnesota.
Well, I mean,
damn, man.
it's giving everybody a reason not to watch Game 5.
There's one way to look at it.
I would if I was a Dallas fan, I would 100% watch the Wings over Game 5 against the Celtics on the road.
No, but
And
you got your trend though of the Celtics losing a road game in like every series. So
yeah,
maybe
but
Dallas
if I'm a
wins one.
casual, but if I'm a casual Dallas fan, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about this team was down 3-0 in the finals. The inevitable is going to happen eventually.
I'm just saying it's a weird spot where you have a city with an NBA and a WNBA team, and they're playing at basically the exact same time on a week. Really? You couldn't have moved this game to like 7? Or 6?
And also, you got to think they didn't think the Mavericks were going to be.
No, I'm saying you could have flexed the time though. You could have fixed that out.
Nah,
I just find it weird, but
I would.
either way, I
would
think I can't trust Dallas anyway. I know we're not taking Dallas. This team sucks. Like I'm not going to spend much time on it. They're a bad basketball team.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. But we know they can be good. It's just, and that's always the thought. And like I said, at some point, Dallas is going to cash as a really big dog, and it's gonna suck. But can't take them right now, man.
Against Minnesota?
On the road, Minnesota's defense on the road, and Dallas doesn't play defense. Like, there's a chance that Minnesota actually runs away with this by 20, 25 easily.
I mean, we saw Connecticut do the same thing yesterday, where they won by 18 because they gave up 67. And Dallas defensively is going to hand out points, but Dallas once again scored 34 points in the second half. They can't score after halftime. So with that being the case, Minnesota, I don't know if they're officially an inner circle team to like be a serious title contender, but they're definitely top 5. Dallas is definitely bottom 4 right now. There's a gap here, and Minnesota at home's been really good. So I'll take the Lynx.
And again, although it did not hit last game, Minnesota's still 10-3 against spread.
Yeah.
We're just going to continue to back the hot hand. Just going to continue to back the hot hand. Now, ironically, Dallas is 4-2 ATS on the road.
Okay.
Let's just keep that there. 4-2 ATS, 2-4 against straight up. But just gonna note that. All right. Total sitting at 164.
It's such a weird game because Minnesota can put the clamps down or they could score 90, and it just wouldn't shock me.
It's going to be the same thing. It's literally going to be the same thing. It's going to be 82. It's going to be like 80-60.
I think I'm going to lean under. I think it's pretty much the same script that we saw today. Give me some type of like 85-70, something like that. So yeah, I'm with you. I'll lean under.
All right. I'll have player props here.
No, we're not going to. It's on Monday. Yeah, we're not going to have player props.
All right. Lock, dog. Drop parlay. I'll make a parlay. And underdog. All right. Minnesota is really in locked consideration as well. Fading Dallas. I don't blame you. I mean, Dallas has been terrible. Man. Fading Dallas is really, really easy. What was that full game total? 164. Okay, so Minnesota's team total is going to be pretty high up there. Do I just take what? Let me see if I can find a line on the Sparks team total real quick. Do I just take the Sparks team total over? But if they,
unless you want to go for
Rakia is playing basketball well. Hamby is always good. She's going to be able to score 77.5.
They really should.
What is the dream have to be? It has to be some type of let me get on outlier. It's got to be some type of positive number for the dream and the opposing team to have 77.5 on the team total. What?
By the way, just despite losing in the opener, the Sparks did score 81 in that game. For what it's worth.
Yes, so they did that. All right. I'm old fashioned because I don't feel like pulling it up. But The Dream have given up 77.5 to the Fever last game, gave it up to the Mystics, gave it up to the Sky, even in the game they won, gave it up to the Liberty, even though the Liberty only scored 78 and that. So your best output was 78 in the past, was that 5 games, 4 games? Yeah, 4 games, and the Liberty still won. Then you have that 69 to the Sun, but you scored 50, so like you didn't even force them you didn't even force their hand. So the ace of 74 is the only thing here that concerns me, but everything else screams I just need to fade this Dream defense right now. I just need to continue to fade it. I'm taking the Sparks. That's my lock. I'm taking Sparks team total over 77.5.
Okay. And your dog.
If Atlanta wins, they still score 78.
Yeah, we saw that in the first game. They won by double digits and they still gave up 81.
So even if I'm wrong and Atlanta steps up at home, they still score 78. Yeah, Sparks team total over 77.5. That's my lock. All right. For my dog. Oh, dang. Oh, wait, I kind of screwed that up. No, I can take the Mercury. Yeah.
I mean, unless you want to do a separate 2-pick parlay for your dog. You can still do that, in theory.
No. I'm going to back the Mercury. Don't want to fade. I want to fade the Storm. Wait, hold on. Go back. Because I really want to hit. I really want to hit another dog. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to take Chicago.
Okay. Would you like an alt line? A win margin?
Yeah, I'm about to get an alt line. We're going to take Chicago. I'm just going to take the better defensive team. And it's a revenge spot. Chicago laying, yeah, 2 possessions, laying 3.5. Chicago laying 3.5 is plus 165. I'm fine with that. So if they win by 4. Yeah, free throws, they win by 4. So Chicago, I'm taking a better defensive team, and I'm just going to go ahead and fade Chrissy Size. And the fact that I don't think that she's going to make the right decision 2 times in a row and play through Aaliyah Boston again. And Liz Smith, I think that they're going to go back to the guards. They're going to continue to try to shoot shots again. And for what's been going on for the entirety of this season, except for maybe 2 games, they have not been able to hit the open shots that they get. They constantly get those looks, and they haven't been able to hit them. And now they're playing a Sky defensive team that I think is good enough where those open looks are not open anymore. So now if you can't hit open looks, I am betting on you again to hit contested looks. I'm gonna say that the Sky get back on the slide and they get a win over the Fever. So Sky laying 3.5 here, plus 165. That's my dog.
All right. So for my lock on the show, I think I am going to go back to the person that cashed me the lock last episode. Give me Angel Reese over 10.5 rebounds at around minus 108. I think it's a great matchup for her. We saw Indiana struggle on the boards against them in the first meeting. She had 13 in that game. I actually see minus 106. So I'll take the over 10.5 rebounds at minus 106. Reese has had at least 11 rebounds in 3 of the last 4, at least 11 rebounds in 4 of the last 6. The 2 exceptions, by the way, she had exactly 10. So 10 plus rebounds in 6 straight games, and she had 13 in the first meeting against Indiana. I don't think Indiana's a good rebounding team, and I do think that Reese should really get a bunch of opportunities on the offensive glass or the defensive glass. Once again, to break down the offensive and defensive rebounding numbers, in that first game against the Fever, she had 8 offensive rebounds. It just seems to me like Indiana's front court is outmatched here. And I think that whether it involves Cardoso or Reese, maybe points-wise, I think the board should be there for Reese. She's an elite rebounder in the league already as a rookie. I'll go back to it. Give me Reese over 10.5 rebounds at minus 106 as my lock. For my dog, I was contemplating if I wanted to go for Sparks money line at plus 186, or if I wanted Sparks money line with the team total over, and I could have gotten that instead. I think I'm actually going to go with the safe option here. I'm going to go with the Sparks team total over 77.5, parlayed with the Sparks plus 5, and I can get that at plus 150. That'll be my dog.
All right. Say that one more time.
So I'm going to go with the 2-pick same-game parlay. My lock, once again, is Angel Reese, 10.5 rebounds at minus 106 on the over. The dog will be on the Sparks plus 5, parlayed with the team total over 77.5, and that's plus 150.
Okay. All right. Cool. Got it. Here we go. Quick little parlay drop. We are going to go with
I'm still working on a
Minnesota.
title. I'm still working on a title, by the way, for
Yeah,
Terrell's parlay. Still working on it.
we're workshopping ideas.
Does it have to be a 3-pick, or is it any type of parlay?
Any type, but it's been 3 picks. That's what's been going. And well, we just missed 3 picks, so
I
they
got
got to
this
switch it up.
title if it's 3 picks. I got this. Does this work if it's 3 picks?
Terrell's trifecta.
It's more of a horse term, but that still, applies, I guess, if you're going to keep it to 3 picks.
No, because sometimes I just change my mind. And
Yeah.
what if we get a 6-game slate? Like, how can I only keep it to 3 if we have a 6-game slate? Like, nah. Minnesota laying 9. That's in there for sure. I'm not gonna lie. I might end up double dipping in that same game.
Okay.
Mercury Storm under 165. I really like that play too. See, I put Malak in there last time, and that was the thing that killed us.
Yeah,
And
but
I
your
didn't
lock
like
record's
that.
still good enough. You might as well stick with it.
I know. I can.
You can't get
But
discouraged after one lock loss.
I don't know. You just gotta. Sometimes you gotta reevaluate things. Gotta reevaluate things. Let's see. Does Nah, I'm going in the same game. Give me the under 164 too.
Okay.
Wings aren't going to score. Wings aren't going to score. Minnesota's not going to be in a rush to score. They're going to cover this, and they're not going to put up a bunch of points. And they've been really, really. The Wings have been good to the under too. Actually, let me see here. Minnesota, I know for a fact is good to the under. Wings are good to it too. And I was thinking about parlaying those together anyway. So I might as well just throw it in the one and just add a Mercury and Seattle under because I really like that play too. Oh well, Dallas is actually 6-4. So, but they're 2-3-1 on the road. 5-7 Minnesota. Yeah, I'm still doing it. All right, Minnesota laying 9 and under 164, and then we're gonna take the under in the Seattle Storm game and Freitas Mercury under 164 as well.
Okay.
No points here in this one. All right.
And then we got the underdog.
Yeah, we do. Let's see here, Angel.
Yep. I'm assuming you co-sign that. It's a great matchup in general.
Oh,
She's
they
kind
don't
of
have it.
She's kind of matchup proof because we saw her get 10 rebounds against the Sun as well. So I got to just keep taking the rebounds at this point.
Well, we got to find something else. They don't have it.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, Kennedy Carter.
Do
That's
they have
really
Reese
good
double, or
play.
they have nothing for Reese? If they have
Wait.
double, I wouldn't mind that as a swap.
Wait. I want to change this parlay.
Okay.
Take off the under, and just add Kennedy Carter points over. What? Yeah, 100%. That's hitting. So it reads in order in terms of in chronological order. That's the word I'm looking for. Kennedy Carter over 13.5. Under 165, Seattle Storm, Phoenix Mercury, Minnesota Lynx, laying 9.
Okay.
That's it. That's 100% it. That is it. All right. And then I want to throw Kennedy Carter in underdog too.
I'm okay with that. That's fine. Do you want to
But
include
they don't have
rebounds or
Angel
assists in there?
rebounds. They don't have Angel rebounds, so
Do they have double?
they only have her points.
Oh, of course.
They only have her points and 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Okay. Let me quickly filter through Outlier to see what is on Underdog, which is also a cool feature, by the way, because you can filter by book, which makes it a lot easier.
Caitlin, 6 assists is in there. They don't have Brink points and rebounds right
Is
now.
that the move? You want to go for the Caitlin points fade? We
We can
about
go.
it.
She's a fire player, so you get bonus if you play her props in the lineup. So yeah,
I like the
it.
lower 16.5.
There we go. Lower Caitlin, higher Kennedy. Wow, it's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna hate us for that.
I'm okay.
And
They'll only hate
then-
us if it loses. If it wins, then we get to rub it in their faces. So there you go. Once again, I'm not
Alright.
showing any bias here. We're trying to make money, and Caitlin
Yeah.
points under has been kind of a wagon lately.
The last play, Cloud. It's got to be. No, they don't have it. Okay.
Damn it.
The last play is.
I'm
Griner.
trying to see what else they have. That's at 18.5. I'm trying to think if there's anything better that we like. I don't really see much else.
I think it's Griner.
It might have to be Griner. We're kind of limited on options that they just don't have.
I do like
So-
Ezzy. I think Ezzy is going to have a good game, but it's Griner. It's Griner. She's going to get the 20.
All right. We'll take the 18.5.
Man, I'm wanting that Cloud assist play, man. Sorry. It's cool.
Oh, we could have
Okay.
thrown in Cardoso in theory if we wanted something for Cardoso.
They have 11.5 points if you want to back the points.
I don't know if you like that more than Ezzy or more than Griner.
So we're
Your
going the same
preference?
game? We can go same game. I like it.
Oh, they don't have Reese, so we basically just punted the same game. We have
No.
Carter. But
No,
yeah,
but we
that's
have
fine.
Carter and Caitlin. We have Carter and Caitlin. Same game.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
true. I forgot we have both. Yeah, that works.
Let's just go ahead and get out the way. Early cash for the rest of the day, and everybody else can go, put that into a lineup for the rest of the day.
All right. Let's go with the points for Cardoso.
Here we go. Candy Carter higher, 13 points. Caitlin Clark lower, 16.5 points. And Camila Cardoso higher, 11.5 points. Add that into Underdog, and it is currently at 6x. $100 get you $600. But if Caitlin Clark does cash, they will boost the payout because she's a spicy hot player. And spicy hot players gets their payouts boosted on UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get out of here?
No, fun 2 a.m. episode. So looking forward to the, I'd say, games over the next couple days. Should be fun. I know the NBA show still has to record the NBA Finals episode for Game 5. I have no idea who's on the show. So maybe the two of us, maybe not. I have no idea. But a lot of basketball over the weekend. And happy Father's Day to all fathers out there.
Yep. Happy Father's Day to all fathers. And be back Monday night, breakdown Tuesday, and probably Wednesday too. Maybe Wednesday too. And get 5 games on the Monday night edition of the WNBA Gambling Podcast. All right. If you're here with us, make sure you head over to YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, just go ahead, like the video, drop a comment, drop a subscribe. If you're not subscribed, wherever you get your podcast, make sure you're subscribed to there as well. And give us a 5-star rating and review. All of that helps us. So other than that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending podcast. Just going to end like this. We are out of here.